Section 3.2, example 13, graphing a piecewise function. So sketch a graph of this function. So we have three separate parts. So we have x squared for x being less than or equal to 1. Our function is equal to 3 between 1 and 2. And our function is equal to x for x being greater than 2. So let's start off with our graph. I notice that we have two different breaks. So x, we have at 1, a break at 1, and we also have a break at 2. So let's start by graphing what our x values are. So I'll try to draw this big enough. And again, I notice a break for x equaling 1 and also for x equaling 2. So I'll go here and say that this is 1. And I'll say that this right here is 2. So this is x equals 1. This is x equals 2. So this entire left part for x being less than or equal to 1, we're looking at this entire area right here. So all of this is going to be x less than 1. This is all going to be our x squared area. So f of x is equal to x squared. We have this middle area. We're going to call this part f of x is equal to 3. And we have x greater than 2. This is going to be f of x is equal to x. So from here, we would just start picking points. I know we're not experts at graphing these functions just yet, but we could pick a couple of points just to see where the graph is. So I suggest starting off with our boundary. So let's plug 1 into our function. So for here, we would have f of 1 is equal to 1 squared, which is 1. This gives us a point 1 comma 1. So 1 comma 1. So I'll call this 1, this is 1, and this is 2. Let's fix the scale. We'll say 1's down here. So 1, also notice that at this point, we're at our boundary, and at our boundary, we're less than or equal to. So what we're going to do is make it super obvious that we know that we're including this point. So super obvious here. Another point, let's graph x equals 0. So now f of 0 is equal to 0 squared, which is just 0. So this gives us a point 0, 0. Let's try -1. So f of -1 is equal to -1 squared. -1 squared is +1. So this gives us a point -1 comma 1. So when x is -1, y is +1. And lastly, let's try -2. So f of -2, that's -2 squared. That's -2 times -2, which would be a +4. So we have the point -2 comma 4. So going up 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us this point. And we also know that these numbers are going to go on forever to the left, because as we go further and further left, we go further and further up. So we could kind of Distinguish that part there. And it stops right there for us. And now looking at this part, x is equal to 3. There isn't much to go off of. We just know that we start here at 3 and we end over here at 3. Let's see what we have. So at our boundary for 1, we have an open circle. So let's make it super obvious that it's an open circle. Continue on over here. At our boundary for x equals 2, less than or equal to 2. That's a closed circle, so let's make it super obvious that it's a closed circle there. And lastly, here from 2 forward, 2, our boundary is going to be an open circle. Let's see where we are on this line here. So when we plug it in, f of 2 is equal to 2. That gives us a point 2, comma 2. So open circle here. Let's look for a value of 3. F of 3 is equal to 3. That gives us a point 3, comma 3. Just for laughs and giggles, let's try 4. F of 4 is equal to 4. That gives us a point 4, comma 4. So x4, y4 is going to be right there. And that goes on forever because we don't have a boundary for that one on the right side. So there we go. That's our function. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.